Okay, so do you guys remember yesterday's video with Aaron Draplin's new book? Well, one second. So if you go to the back of this book, flip forward a couple pages, you will not believe what is in here. Right there. Do you see that? Focus. That right there says Dennis Cortez. This is a poster that I made for Aaron Draplin when he came to speak at my school like a year and a half ago or something. And I hadn't seen it the first couple times that I went through this book. I guess I just breezed past it because it's in the corner. But how freaking cool is that? I just cannot get over that I'm in this book that's in thousands of people's hands right now. That is crazy. I'm just so happy. Like, when I saw it, I just freaked out. As nerdy as that sounds, I know, but as a graphic designer, being in Aaron Draplin's book, that's crazy. Now that that excitement is over, I am off to this little thing called work that I do every Monday through Friday. Nothing too special going on today. Working on JavaScript again in the morning, but in the afternoon we have this thing called a product demo, where we basically show the business people of the company what we as the product team are working on, and we let each other know our thoughts. We keep updated with what's going on in the business side while we keep them updated with what's going on in the product side. So it's gonna be a fun day, and I'll keep you guys updated. Also, I'm bringing this to work because I need to show somebody that I am in the book, besides you guys, I guess. Mazda 3.14159 basically has pi on the back of his car. That is awesome. You know, Aaron?
Whoa! Is that your? Did you actually do that? Yeah. Wow! That's awesome. You're famous.
Like a year and a half ago.
He didn't even ask you either.
No.
Wow.
And it's in a book that thousands and thousands of people have.
That's awesome, man. That's really neat.
I came home to take out the dog. Were you sleeping as usual? Wanna go outside? Oh. So you may be like, Dennis, I thought you got this book yesterday. And I did, but because of Amazon and their crappy packaging service, the first book that they gave me had all of the corners really scuffed up. So I let them know yesterday, and they overnighted me another book, which is pretty great. It's great to not have scuffs on my book, and it still actually has a little bit of scuff. That's Amazon for you. So as you saw there, the company is having a kind of launch party for the new office opening. Not specifically my company that I work for, just the co-working space in general. But as an introvert who would rather be at home working, I would rather leave, as I'm sure some of you can relate. So I just got free dinner and left. So I'm headed home now, gonna check on the dogs, and then I think I'm gonna work on my website for a little bit, just because I've been meaning to work on it for so long and I still haven't. So that's what I'm gonna do. So as I mentioned earlier, right now I am working on redesigning my website. I have a bunch of more work that I need to add to it, and I've just kind of been a little bit lazy and haven't really added anything to it. I have some case studies that I've had ready, and I just haven't put them out in the public yet, so I'm kind of trying to get myself to do that because it's super important for myself, both personally and professionally, I believe. As I was working on it, I thought, you know, why don't I explain to you guys how I go about designing websites? Just in terms of my planning process and then how I go about executing on that. This is going to be similar to my illustration process video. I'm not going to go into detail in terms of how I do it digitally, but I kind of wanted to explain my process and hope that that would help you guys out a bit. So first, I like to start with inspiration. I personally have a folder of bookmarks for inspiration of websites that I enjoy. I have one for case studies, one for personal websites, one for company websites, and I reference those when I'm working on a new website, and I have them categorized so that I know which ones I want to look at when I'm referring to specific kinds of websites. So for example, personal websites, also blogs and shops and things like that. So I recommend when you guys are browsing online and you find a website that you really enjoy, whether it be the aesthetic or the animation or anything like that, go ahead and bookmark that so you can save it for later when you're working on a website. After that, I like to outline the website that I'm working on. It sounds super obvious, but sometimes people don't go ahead and plan what they want on their website very well, and down the line they kind of second guess themselves when they're working on something, and they decide to add more features throughout their website, even though it kind of impacts the work that they've already done, so it takes them even longer to finish a website. Then after that, I like to make a secondary outline, which is basically the lower level of that primary navigation that I just explained, just kind of outlining what you want generally on that page. So for example, on your About Me, you want to have, you know, your story, a little bit about your background, some of your experience, clients you've worked with, and then maybe a contact call to action at the end. So that's something that you can literally just list out in a notes document for you to have and reference later. After that, I like to create a mood board with the inspiration that I gathered. So just taking screenshots of specific things that kind of stand out to you, or making little notes about things that you want to include in terms of typography, color, anything along those lines that you think is important and would help you in the process of designing the website. After mood boarding, I like to move on to wireframing. You can do this either digitally or drawing it. I prefer drawing just because it's a bit faster. So just go ahead and draw the rough layout of your website. It doesn't have to be anything detailed at all. After wireframing, I like to make some rough designs based on the wireframes with some loose content. If you want, you can go ahead and include the final content that you're gonna work with, but if you don't have that ready yet, then I would go ahead and just put in some lorem ipsum and at least maybe have the titles or something like that, just so you know where your headlines are gonna be, where you wanna put a banner, where you wanna put a block of text, just general things like that. And again, base that off of your wireframing, so you probably have most of that, and now you just need to plug in some content to that. Then after that, I like to move on to critique. This could either be a self-critique or a critique from a colleague or a friend, or even ask me. Feel free to ask me. If you guys have any questions or want critique, you can go ahead and email me. I'm completely fine with that. Then, based on that critique, go ahead and make your revisions and plug in your final content to your designs, and that'll get your finished designs that you're going to then build from. Then after that, you're free to build. You can either do this from coding it yourself if you know how with HTML, CSS, and if you know JavaScript, go ahead and use that. You know what you're doing if you know how to code, so go ahead and do that, or even learn if you really have the time. What I prefer to do is use a CMS. CMS is a content management system, so that's basically like WordPress or Squarespace or Shopify or something like that, just to make it a bit easier to publish things onto your website. It makes the process a lot quicker. There's really no shame in not coding it yourself unless you're a developer or you're a developer and a designer and you want to kind of show off your skills. That's up to you. It's up to you guys how you want to do that. The reason why I have this process in place is because then when you're going throughout those stages, when you get further along the line of your website or you're in the building stages of your website, you can't question big things on your site and you won't be able to make changes that'll hold you back from finishing your website, or a website for a client for that matter. Doesn't matter, but you've gone through that thought process so you know that it's correct. You've already thought through why it is that way. And you can't go ahead and second guess yourself down the line because you've already thought through that entire process. Sure, you can make minor changes here and there, but It really helps you to avoid those major issues that you want to go ahead and fix and inhibit you from finishing the website. So I hope you guys enjoyed this vlog, another vlog with a little bit of a topic, as you saw. People seem to have been enjoying these kinds of topic vlogs, and it's a lot easier for me when I don't have much going on in terms of my social life or outside of work. I like to focus on work and then get home and be able to work on side projects or just take it easy, spend time with my dogs. So that's kind of what I'm just doing right now, kind of easing into be a full-time employee at Satchel Health. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to leave a like and comment. Let me know things that you want to see, or if you guys need any help or have any questions. I'm more than happy to help you guys. And make sure to subscribe if you're new for more vlogs and videos like this. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.